Hello, and thank you for joining me. I am at my studio and I am about to expose a screen. And I'm going to use it the way I'm going to actually expose it the way I did when I was in college, using a makeshift um, exposing unit that I made. I did a little MacGyver type thing, and I'm going to show you how I did it. This right here is a sheet of amber length or ruby length, whichever you might want to call it. And what this does is I cut it on my vinyl cutter right here. I cut it on my vinyl cutter, and it looks like this right here. This is the original sheet before I cut it. Basically, the light doesn't pass through it, and I was able to cut it out on my vinyl cutter, and I got this design here. It's actually a gang up design. There's going to be a crew words, and then there's the logo. Both of them will be printed on separate shirts, and then that little logo there is actually vinyl that I cut out and put on the sheet. So basically, I'm about to expose the screen. The exposure unit right here basically is just two 1000 watt flood lamps attached to a broomstick. I put these paintbrushes here to keep the lights from sliding off the broomstick in case I hit it or something bumps against it. And I built up a base using a number of different items, a table, a box, and I have a black top right here. It's pretty sturdy. And this is it. I'm going to expose my screen, and hopefully I can get it right the first time, because I only got one chance at it, and I'm thinking it should expose for about 50 to 55 minutes under these lights, and then I wash it out and I'll see what I got. But right now I'm going to prepare the overlay. And attach it to the screen before I put it under the lights. This is what it looks like, and that's basically what it will look like with the lights on. Pretty simple. If you have floodlights laying around, 2 chairs, a broomstick, and a pile of boxes, then you're all set to make your screen. I had my vinyl cutter, set real lightly, so it was able to cut this really thin film with no problem. This right here is actually vinyl that I cut out using my vinyl cutter, and I had to use vinyl for this particular one because the thin lines right here, the amber length usually tears if it's too thin, so I had to cut that out using vinyl. And this is amber length. This is going to be a gang up screen. This is going to be the back of some hoodies. This is going to be the back of some t-shirts, and that's going to be the logo for the front of some t-shirts. Basically, this is it. To attach this to the screen before I expose it, I'm going to spray the back with a little spray adhesive that will press this close to the screen, because I want to get these fine lines, and the closer this is to the screen, the better my fine lines will be. So I'm going to use the sprayed adhesive. Most exposure units use a suction that will suck the image to the screen and keep it tight. But since I'm not using suction, I'm going to use adhesive spray, which works just as good. On the screen, I sprayed one side of the overlay with with the spray adhesive, and I sprayed one side of the design with the spray adhesive. That's actually going to keep it really tight to the screen. And then I'm going to put this glass over it, and that will help it stay down a little more. And then I'm going to put it underneath the lights. The screen is about to be exposed. It's probably going to take about 55 minutes. I'm gonna try to go an hour, just to make sure, because I only have one chance to do it. An hour may take a little longer for me to wash it out, but at least I know it's a safe bet for me, because I am using an older emulsion. The emulsion I'm using, I think was supposed to last like maybe 2 years, but I had it like 4 years because I don't use a lot of it. So I'm probably going to have a hard time washing it out, but I'm going to give it more time to expose, and I'm going to take a gamble that it's going to work. But this is it. This is as if you don't have $1,000, but this is it. If you don't have $500 or $1,000 or $1,200 or more to spend on an exposure unit, all you need 2 flood lamps, some type of stick, a decent base, and something to, I even use a clothing rack with wheels. I roll it in, put the screen on the bottom of the clothing rack, put the lights on top of the poles on the clothing rack, and expose it that way. And then when I'm finished, I roll the clothing rack out of the way. So you can do it any number of ways, as long as you have the flood lamps and you practice. Basically, you can find out online what exposure time that you can use for each emulsion that you're using. So I use a couple of different types of emulsion. This one here takes about an hour, but I've used some that only takes about 15 minutes. So it depends on what you're using at the time. It has been burnt right here. As you can see, I was able to get these fine lines, and also the big lines, big color spaces came out fine. That came out good. And it's my own screen. I saved myself a ton of money by making my own screen. Right here, it's still wet, so it looks cloudy. You can't really see through it that well because it's still wet. But yeah, this is gonna go on my printer. This is gonna go on my printer, and I'll probably start using it tomorrow. So yeah, I recycled this screen from an older screen, and it works good. I mean, like I said, you don't need any fancy equipment to get started. I mean, once you start making tons and tons of money, yeah, you might want to splurge and get a $10,000 exposure unit and all types of pressure washers and all types of stuff. But if you're gonna just get the job done and do a few things, I'm more of an artist, so I like doing mine more of an artistic way, and this is my way of staying close to my artistic traditional roots. So I do it this way. So if you get a chance, please press that subscribe button to my channel, and that would be kind of cool. I am going to be working on a lot of different projects right now. This is I'm working on some t-shirts and some hoodies, and I'm working on some menus tomorrow and some other stuff. So yeah, subscribe to my channel, and you'll learn a lot of interesting things if you're just starting out. All right, thank you very much for joining me. I'll talk to you soon.